Sweetheart, you've gotten so thin. Isn't the $1,900 I send you every month enough? Grandpa asked at the party. And just like that, the music, the chatter, the clinking of glasses, all of it faded into a cold, sharp silence that rang in my ears. I froze, the cupcake halfway to my mouth, the frosting trembling on the paper liner like it knew what was coming. The words didn't make sense. They shouldn't have made sense. Because I never received a single cent. All those months I'd been surviving on ramen and dollar store pasta, juggling 2 part-time jobs while studying, and rationing gas just to make it to campus. I used to stay up at night calculating how long I could make a 20 last. I'd pawned my tablet, skipped meals, sold my textbooks. I cried once when I found a crumpled $5 bill in a coat I hadn't worn since high school. And now Grandpa was telling me he'd been sending me $1,900 every month. I didn't respond. I couldn't. Because my mother was standing 10 feet away, her smile brittle as porcelain as she watched Grandpa with that same syrupy expression she wore when she wanted something. Her eyes flicked toward me, only for a moment, but in that moment something cracked open. I saw it. I saw everything. I'd moved out a year ago when I started university. Grandpa had offered to help, insisting it was what Grandma would have wanted, to support her only granddaughter. At first I resisted. He'd already done enough for our family. Paid off Mom's car. Covered my braces. Took us in when Dad left. But he'd insisted, and Mom had eagerly agreed. She told me he was just helping with my tuition directly, and the rest was complicated, handled through family accounts. I was too young, too naive, too grateful to ask more. So I never saw the money. But clearly someone else did. At that party, my cousin Emma's graduation celebration, I couldn't eat another bite. The sweetness turned bitter in my mouth. I excused myself and walked outside, heart pounding like it knew something my brain was only just realizing. I didn't sleep that night. Instead, I quietly started digging. Grandpa, bless his heart, wasn't exactly tech-savvy, but he kept physical records. Bank transfers, printed statements, even handwritten logs. When I visited him the next weekend, I brought homemade muffins, kissed his cheek, and told him I missed him. He smiled and told me he'd been proud to help me chase my dreams. That night, while he dozed off in his recliner, I opened his filing cabinet. And there it was. A clear, devastating trail. 12 months of transfers to an account under my name, but not opened by me. The same bank Mom used. I recognized the routing number. She'd opened a shadow account and rerouted every penny. And she'd been lying to both of us. I felt sick. Like my blood was curdling. My mom. The woman who told me to make do. Who said she'd help if she could but things were tight. Who told me to suck it up because life wasn't easy for anyone. Who looked me in the eye while I cried over rent. She was cashing nearly $2,000 a month while I was starving. And she let me. For months. I didn't confront her immediately. I wanted proof. So I dug further. I pulled my credit report. Found out she'd used my social security number to open a store card. Nothing huge, just a few purchases here and there. But it was enough. She stole from me. From Grandpa. From us. The confrontation happened a week later, in our old kitchen. She'd invited me over for dinner. She made her famous lasagna, lit candles like we were celebrating something. She was too cheery. I was too quiet. Halfway through the meal, I pulled out the printed bank records and laid them on the table. Her smile didn't fade immediately. She thought it was something else. Homework maybe, or documents from school. But as her eyes scanned the page, her expression shifted. She didn't deny it. She didn't cry. She just sighed. Listen, she said, setting her fork down. It wasn't like you were starving. I said nothing. I was using it for the house. For you. You wouldn't have made it this far without me. You stole from me, I said, my voice shaking. You lied to Grandpa. You watched me suffer. I had my reasons, she said coolly. You'll understand one day. I didn't respond. I couldn't. There was nothing left to say. I walked out, left the lasagna untouched, and drove straight to Grandpa's. I told him everything. He cried. For the first time in my life, I saw him cry, not out of sadness, but from betrayal. He blamed himself. Said he should have checked in more. Said he couldn't believe his own daughter would. But she did. She did all of it. With no remorse. In the weeks that followed, everything unraveled. Grandpa cut her off. Changed his will. Closed the account. I opened a new one in my name. He offered to help me press charges, but I couldn't do it. I didn't want to see her behind bars. I just wanted her out of my life. She tried calling. Sent long messages explaining herself, defending her choices, even guilt-tripping me. "I'm still your mother," she wrote. "Everything I did was for you." No, it wasn't. It was for her. Her comfort. Her lifestyle. Her lies. I didn't respond. I moved on. Slowly. Got a part-time internship that turned into a full-time offer. Graduated with honors. Made friends who felt like family. Built a life that didn't depend on her. And Grandpa, he's still my biggest fan. Still writes me letters. Still brings me lunch on Sundays. Still tells me that love doesn't have to come with conditions or lies. He made mistakes too. But he owned them. Unlike her. Some nights, I still think about that party. That moment. The way her eyes flicked toward me when Grandpa asked the question that shattered the illusion. She thought I wouldn't put it together. She thought I'd never speak up. But I did. And I'll never let her silence me again.